Welcome to Surface Pro 3 TechReviews.com. I'm Neil, helping you shop smarter for your Surface. Today, I'll be reviewing the C&E mini display port to HDMI 6-foot long cable. So stay tuned and I'll be right back with more. Well, first I should address what does this cable do, or what is it intended for? And there's three main functions. Number one, by hooking your Surface to a second monitor, and that can be a computer monitor or it can even be a TV nowadays, anything with the HDMI input, you can either A, extend your screen of your Surface. So for example, you know how on your Surface you can have two windows side by side. Say you have a Word document and an Excel document, and you can have them side by side, but they're a little smaller. Well, by using a second monitor, you can have your Word on your Surface and have your Excel document opened up on that second monitor. So it's a great time saver, and it keeps you from having to switch back and forth between windows if sometimes the windows won't be big enough for you to utilize them correctly. So it can be really helpful in that way. It can also, the second use for it is to duplicate your screen. So everything that you have or see on your Surface can be also seen or had on your second monitor. And the third use for it is to have it only on your second display where your Surface would be blank. And all these things you could do on a regular Windows PC, and these are just what you can do for your Surface. So it's very helpful, and if you haven't ever tried hooking up your Surface to a second monitor, I hope after watching this video and seeing the review of this cable that you'll be encouraged to even try it, because it can really help you be productive in many ways. I've been using this adapter now for about 6 months, and I bought mine through Amazon, and when I bought it I paid $4.65. As I was doing or preparing for this review, I looked it up, and they're now selling it on Amazon for $3.64 with free shipping. Very cheap, very cheap, and as you'll see through the rest of this video, it's a really good deal. But anyway, according to Amazon's website, this supports the HDMI highest video resolution of 1080p for those of you tech junkies that are really into numbers. Basically what that means is you get excellent resolution or video quality by transferring it to another screen. Usually when you do so, there's always going to be a small loss in the signal. This wire does a very good job at putting it to the second screen without much loss. Microsoft sells a mini display port to HDMI cable, which I'll put a link for if anybody would rather buy one of those, but you're going to pay $39.99, 40 bucks, and that does basically what this does, the same thing. And as I was researching the this cable that I wanted to get so I can hook up the second monitor to begin with, it was a huge price difference, and 40 bucks is a lot of money for a cable. So anyway, that's when I started looking around, and I ended up finding this one. And I read some of the reviews, and some were good reviews and some were bad reviews, but I figured for the money it'd be worth a shot, and I'm thankful I did. And so by utilizing reviews such as this, you can see how you can actually end up saving a lot of money. And Microsoft, maybe their wire has even better than 1080p or more gigabytes per second transfer. I don't know what it is or why they justify selling it for that much, but I know that just cable wires in general, it's easy to kind of get I don't want to say suckered, but we can be made to believe that if it's got a gold coating or you know, all these different things that, you know, oh yeah, that's the best one, you know, and I got to spend an arm and a leg for it, when really a cable that's a fraction of the cost is nearly as good and sometimes just as good as those more expensive models. And in this case, I can say for this cable, everything that I've done, it does more than what I've been wanting to have it to do. You know, it doesn't hold me back in any way. So it's a huge money saver for me. The wireless display adapter from Microsoft, I have that as well. And while I initially was going to do a review on it, and it would have been a really bad review, but because I'm running Windows 10 Technical Preview, it's not supported with it right now. And I didn't know that when I bought it. But after talking to Microsoft and getting everything worked out, I considered it wouldn't be fair to even review it since they don't support it. I did eventually get it to work. If you have that, here's a small little tip that I learned from Microsoft that I didn't find in any of the documentation that came with it, is that there's a small button on the back right here. And if you hold it for about 10, once you have it in your second monitor and that, if you hold it for about 10-11 seconds and let go, the little light will start blinking and it'll actually reset it. And it was only doing through that I initially could even get it set up. And so that was actually a really good little piece of information that I got from Microsoft that, you know, I looked in the instruction manual and I didn't see it. So if you do have one and maybe you're having a hard time setting it up using Windows 8.1, because if, like I said, if you're using the Windows 10, it's going to be really bad. But it should work really good in Windows 8.1. And if you're having any trouble, try resetting it like that and starting over and see if you get a better result. But anyway, that wireless display adapter, it sells for $60 through Microsoft Store. And it does everything that the cable does, only wirelessly. And even if you use a Windows 8 operating system, the one that it's intended for, you're still going to have a slight lag. And in my research and the different things that I've looked into about it, was even at its best, there's still a little bit of lag that you're going to get that you're not going to get with a cable. And that's with anything, you know, even your computer that you hook up to the internet. If you get your signal from Wi-Fi, it's going to be a little slower than if you plug it in through the cable. And the same thing with that. So, but it's the convenience of having it wireless. For me, I also like the idea of not having to plug anything in and out of my Surface constantly, because like I said, I use that second monitor quite a bit. That's why I got it. But I'll be returning it. Microsoft did say I could return it. And so if you're not running Windows 10, and you know, it may be good for you too, and they said that they will eventually support it, but it's not supported now. And I'm not going to do a review for it because, like I said, number one, it would be really bad, but number two, it wouldn't have been fair either. You know, Microsoft said that, you know, we never said it was for Windows 10, and I respect that. Anyway, stay tuned, and I'll do a video walkthrough, show you how we set this up, how you get it working, and kind of put it through some real-world tests, which is the focus of what my reviews are to do. You know, I don't want to get into the technical kind of things, but I want to focus on the practical uses of the things that I review and how it would either help you or hinder you, or get to get you the most value for your money. So stay tuned, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I just turned on my second monitor, and you see it says no signal. So what I did on the back was I took our cable And on the back of my TV, there's two HDMI inputs. I put it in the first, HDMI number 1, and I set the TV to HDMI number 1. Make sure that whatever one you put it in is the one that you select. Okay, now we'll come back and I want to show you just how simple it is to hook up your Surface to a second screen. So now I'll take the mini display port side with the long flat part facing me and just put that in there. And you notice I didn't have to do anything. It hooked it all right up automatically. And I have it set to extended displays, but say if you wanted to change that, you just right click your desktop, go to screen resolution, and in here you can change multiple displays. You can select whichever one you want it to do. Duplicate it, show only on the first, which would be your Surface, or show only on the second, which would be your second monitor. Very simple. Very simple. And so now you'll see here I have here's an Excel document, let's just say, and say I want to put this, say I'll leave this one on my Surface, and I'll go down here. I got Google Chrome opened, and here is another web page of mine. And now let's say I want to take this and move this over to my second screen. I just click on it, drag it, bring it right on over there. I can click the top to make it big and make it full screen, and there you go. You're looking at, now my Surface is running Excel over here, so I could work on an Excel spreadsheet, and I can even open one for you just to show you what I mean. There it is, and I got the video running on the second monitor, full screen. You see the picture running good, the audio is excellent and in sync. Sometimes that's an issue, not at all on this with this cable at all. Okay, so what I'm showing you now is I'm running Asphalt 8 Airborne, which is a kind of a CPU heavy or demanding game. And so what this test is going to show you is I went back and on my Surface screen I selected to duplicate the display rather than extending. Now it's duplicated, so everything that I got on my Surface I got on the second monitor. And this, I'm only doing this to show you, you know, I'm not much of a gamer, but I'm doing it to show you the performance, that if you're going to find any lag, you know, you're going to either see it with movies or with video games and stuff like that, which are really demanding on the computers. So I'm using a Xbox One controller that I've got hooked up to my Surface, and I'm just going to run through, and you'll be able to compare as I go along, side by side, the screens, and see any lag between the two. Oops. So if you're noticing, I'm a bad driver, but you'll notice that there's no lag, no perceptible lag, I guess I should say. You see when I'm doing the turn and you see it come through on the Surface,
you're seeing it come right through over here too on the second monitor. No lag. And this just goes to show you, so if you're running any kind of CAD software or even, your Adobe software, you could set this up to run a video on your second monitor and keep your Adobe Photoshop running on your Surface, so you can still use the touch screen. Just the uses is just so useful. That's why I say that if after this review, or up to this review, if you've never tried using a second monitor, I hope you will see just how useful it is. And with this, if anyway, you see, if it can handle the game with no lag, then most of what we can use it for, what you can use a second screen for, will be no problem, and like remember, this is a very cheap cable that we've got going, and when you go read reviews by those more expensive cables, they're gonna say, oh, you can only channel so much data through it and so on, and so inexpensive cables won't be able to keep up. Well, here I just showed you that's not accurate. This cheap under $4 cable did a flawless job.
Now for the bottom line on the C&E mini display port to HDMI cable. It's an excellent value. For under $4, you're getting the same performance and functionality as some of the cables that cost $40. While I've never pit them side by side, because everything that I have done with this cable, I have had no problems with it whatsoever. I've had no reason to. I don't have money just to spend on frivolous things or, the latest fad or whatever. Microsoft's rich enough. They don't need my money. They get enough of it anyway. But this cable, in my opinion, is an excellent value for the money. And if you've never even, just on a side note, if you've never even tried a second monitor, it is incredibly useful. And for example, I go to my grandparents' house who they don't have internet, and rather than showing them my pictures on my Surface, which is still good, I will hook up my Surface to their HDMI on their big screen TV, and I'll be able to show them pictures, or if I have any videos, I'll play it on the big screen so they can watch comfortably, and anybody else in the room too. So there's a lot of uses for hooking up a second screen to your Surface, and I've just given you just a small few ideas. The performance of this cable, as I've shown you, is, in what I can perceive, flawless. Even though, like I said, you look at some of the more expensive cables and they're going to try and condemn this type of cable as saying it's inferior products, it's inferior made, and so on. And maybe it is, you know what, I don't know, but for everything I can do with it and have done, it works excellent. And even say you got your Word open on your Surface, and you can put an internet page, put your Google Chrome or Internet Explorer or something on your second monitor and use it to research. I do that a lot too. It is very helpful. Rather than trying to have the two windows side by side or top and bottom on the one screen, split them up and put them on two monitors. It's really useful. And so for under $4, Remember, free shipping? You can't beat that deal. So how many stars out of 5 would I give this? I would give this 5 out of 5 stars. I could find nothing wrong, and I'm not trying to put a low score just to, for whatever reason. They earn it. You know, they earned it. And I'm thankful I found it, and now I get to pass it along to you. Now, either you can check it out for yourself, and you'll save a lot of money in the meantime. And it's been my privilege to help. So I'm Neil for Surface Pro 3 TechReviews.com. I thank you for watching. If you are interested in videos like these, please subscribe, give a thumbs up, share with other people. It doesn't cost you anything, but it helps my channel grow. And I thank you again, and may God bless you.